Welcome to Stage Door Athletic. Now, for reasons that will emerge, welcome to my first Winter Olympic diary. Yes, this week in a special episode, come along. Oh no, you can't say that. Come along with me. I was about to say come along with me. That is the phrase that winds me up more than most things in life. It's the epitome of the worst kind of social media as we go on these banal journeys. And they always begin with, come with me as I head down. So boring. Anyway, come with me as I indulge in what has to be one of my favourite sporting events, the Winter Olympics. It's this 4-year cycle where we just become experts on sports we never look at any other time of the year. I really, truly love it. Regular listeners know I'm a big ski and winter sports fan. So this is just for me, nirvana, seeing these extraordinary athletes doing extraordinary things. So I've indulged a lot this week, got really into the curling as well as the alpine skiing. We've got all the snowboard freestyle events starting to come in. We're just starting the ice skating and figure dancing, all the speed skating stuff to come. Ice hockey will run all the way through the tournament. We've got all the sliding events to come. So there's loads to look forward to if you haven't yet dipped into the coverage. I really encourage you to do it. Listen to last week where I gave a bit of insight as to the GB medal, so I won't go over old ground. So hopefully this will whet your appetite. There's loads to come and lots of medal chances. But it's not all winter sports. Throwing in some rugby league, bit of Leeds United, the Super Bowl, the Six Nations, and it's Stage Door Athletic. So the theatre of the tournament. But before we get to the opening ceremony, let's take you back to last Wednesday when the Olympics actually really began with the best event of all, curling. Listen to that. Yes, that's the theme tune for Discovery Plus or TNT Sports coverage of the Winter Olympics. It's Wednesday, the 4th of February, 2 days before the opening ceremony. And you can hear the first programme on the Winter Olympics coverage. And guess what? It's curling. And not only is it curling, it's Great Britain against Norway. Yes, our mixed double pair of Bruce Moat and Jennifer Dodds are up to play Norway, and this is a hang on.
To welcome you to the Olympic Games of 2026 because we've sneaked in early.
We have sneaked in early. We've been welcomed. Thank you.
And here we are in Cortina at the curling Olympic Stadium. Actually,
I really want to go now. I've made a big mistake not going. Look at that. Snow. There's been a lot of snowfall. Turn that down. There's been a lot of snowfall happening in Cortina, and that bodes really well, obviously, for the mountain sports. But tonight it's all about the indoor. It's at the quite old, like 1950s Olympic arena. It's very retro looking as you see it. And it's a grudge match tonight. Grudge might be overstating it, but the Great Britain mixed doubles curling pair of Dodds and Moat are playing Norway, and this is a husband and wife team, Kristen Skarslian and Magnus Nigrotten. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, but why this is important is that in Beijing in 2022, what happened was this was a semi-final matchup, and the Great Britain pair gave away a lead, and they ended up losing that match, and then they went into the bronze medal match and lost that, so they finished fourth. The Norwegians ended up with a silver medal and lost to the Italians, I think, the hosts this year. So they're going to be a couple to watch as well. I mean, it's Tuesday as you're listening to this, or even beyond. And actually, the final of this will be tonight, Tuesday night. So the round robin matches will take place between me recording this on Wednesday and Tuesday when this is released. And the round robin matches are there are 10 teams in a league, and they'll all play each other once. And then the top 4 teams will go into the semi-finals, and then obviously the winners of that will play the final. What's different about the mixed doubles pair is it's 2 rather than 4. Normally in curling, there are 4 people per team, and so this is 2. It's a one man, one woman, and they compete and they throw 5 stones each rather than the 8 stones that will happen during a normal curling match. So it's a little bit different. And yeah, it's going to be really great. It's just kicking off. It's the start of it all. There's going to be some really good matchups here. The Americans are fancied. That's Corey T.S. and Corey Dropkin. And they got really contrasting personalities. They've been dubbed, I was going to say the fire and the ice, that'd be even better, but it's the calm and the fire. And so I'm just watching now, look, it's our pair. They're literally about to throw the first stone. So it's really exciting. What's good about the British pair is they went to school together. So they've known each other for 20-odd years. The TV is covering some of the other partnerships here. The Swiss are always good. The Italians are going to be really good to look out for. The Canadians, obviously, are always good as well. And there's a couple of teams making their debuts this time as well. So, really excited. I shall attempt to update you on the progress throughout the week as I watch it. But the first matchups are taking place about now. So I'm going to go watch it. And hopefully, when I come back to this, we'll be finalists or semi-finalists. But I hope you're enjoying the curling too. This is just the appetizer to the big men's and women's tournaments that will continue right throughout the Winter Olympics. So I hope you're enjoying and catch up soon. Brilliant. So I'm just watching the BBC's opening ceremony montage, their introduction to the whole coverage. He's got Zlatan Ibrahimovic talking, of course, played for Milan, talking about himself in the third person, which is just obviously classic Zlatan. But it is great. It's what the BBC do best, isn't it? These things, exciting. And it does make you realise that the Winter Olympics really is like the most extraordinary skilled people. Obviously, all Olympic sports in the summer are cool as well, but it feels like there's just something a bit madder and crazier and more dangerous about winter sport. Oh, hang on. He's talking to Tor Valentin. I love it.
Does a Swedish guy become a knight? Because I know a guy. He's very tall, very strong. He's an incredible footballer.
I wonder who writes the scripts for these introduction things. It's a good job. And anyway, they've done a great job. Back to classic Claire Balding and a picture of the Duomo in Milan. So, yes, we're off and running. Opening ceremony, Friday night. Oh, this is great. Locked in for the night. I was going to order a Chinese, but maybe it's got to be a pizza or something Italian. Maybe it's got to be Domino's. Maybe I do Domino's. What a night. Got Winter Olympics, opening ceremony, catch up on the curling, which I hope you've been following. But now the GB double pairs, they've won 5 of their round-robin events, undefeated so far, doing really, really well. Some big matches to come. But also on telly tonight, Leeds United versus Nottingham Forest. It's a big game. Ellen Road under the candles, as Jack would say. Big game. So I shall be split screening this evening between those games as Lizzie Arnold, 2-time Olympic gold medalist of the skeleton. We spoke about it last week. He's been interviewed. So Winter Olympics plus Leeds United plus Domino's. Oh, I'm alive. Well, we're about half an hour into the teams arriving now, which I think is working quite well, this multi-location idea. I like it, although it's a bit treacherous, some of the walkways the athletes are walking on, particularly in one of the skiing venues, walking down like packed, slippy, uneven ice. Anyway, they're navigating that very well. But we're up to Estonia, being about half an hour in. But it's a good time to reflect on the ceremony, which I think has done really well. In our modern age, you know, the temptation is always to outdo the last one with drone technology and huge spectacle of lights. But this, I thought, was very authentically Italian. You know, they prioritised on what they're good at, high culture, if you like, opera, ballet, art, fashion, the aesthetic. And I think there was some nice little interpretive moments around, you know, bringing the city and the mountains together. I thought it was done really tastefully. That little violin sequence and the dance thing, I thought was pretty good. And so, yeah, I think they've judged it pretty right. I mean, what Mariah Carey has got to do with Italy, I'll never know. They made a tenuous link, didn't they, to divas? But fair dues. It was nice. She didn't outstay her welcome. Pretty good. I like the catwalky bit, the model bit. That was great. The fashion moment. It's such a hard thing, this, as a form, a theatrical form. Opening ceremonies and stadium art, because the scale of the stage itself, I guess the creative director is always trying to balance the millions watching on TV versus the 60,000 in the stadium. And I guess you've got to prioritise the TV audience. But It looked pretty good, I thought, as these things go. You know, it featured all the Italian qualities that I talked about. I mean, I didn't see much rudeness or inability to queue or bad drivers featured, but fair enough. Why would they do that, I suppose? As we were... Stereotypes. Seriously, could the Australians have looked more Australian coming down there? And also, if I was a coach of some of these teams and I saw my athletes on one another's shoulders or doing backflips, as the Brazilians did, walking down, you'd be furious when you imagine twisting an ankle after 4 years preparation and you twisted an ankle because you did an entirely extraneous backflip on the ice in the opening ceremony. You'd be absolutely gutted. Anyway, I think it's time to flip over and see how, I'll just get my remote control, how Leeds United are doing. Just get over to Sky Sports, see what's going on. They're probably about 15, 20 minutes in. Watch live. It's always this horrible moment when you look up to the top left and see this got 0-0. All right, 0-0 after 16 and a half minutes under the candles at Ellen Road. Might tune into this bit. So, good opening ceremony, I thought, on reflection. The real stuff starts tomorrow, skiing from Bormio, the men's downhill, I think, tomorrow morning. So I shall be up watching that before a feast of winter sports, Premiership football. Great times. Okay, it's Saturday morning, and having watched the opening ceremony last night, I was in chat with my friend Emily, who lives, well, they live in Bath, but her husband, Phil, who I've known for years, his parents own a house in Cortina. And so she's heading out there next week, or this week now, to Cortina and hang out and ski and be around the Olympics. I think they've got some tickets for the curling the week after. Anyway, we were watching the opening ceremony last night and we were like texting back and forth, essentially bitching about some of the outfits, or commenting. Critiquing is a better word. Critiquing some of the outfits worn by various nations. And I just got so much FOMO watching it all. And I was like, I really want to go. I really want to go. And I'm like, what is the point of having a camper van if you can't make impulsive decisions? Now, there's a bit of a life mantra I've got, which is fuck it, buck it. And I fucked it, bucked it. I'm going. I'm just going to go out there. I looked into like flights, car hire from Venice into Cortina, which that was all quite reasonable, really. Not too much. Hotels, however, really expensive. So then I'm like, the resistance I had to the camper van was, it's a long way to drive. It's a long way to go to get there. But I'm doing it. I'm taking the Colonel. Colonel and I, we're heading to Cortina. I've booked the shuttle. I've booked a campsite in Cortina with electric, so heating for the van. And I've got tickets for the curling on the Friday, tickets for the men's round robins women's team in the afternoon, and I've got tickets in the evening to the skeleton track, the sliding track in Cortina. So I'm going to get there, set off Wednesday night, get there Thursday evening, set up camp, a day of Olympic activity, and then on the Saturday I'm going to go skiing. I'm going to go skiing in Cortina. So I'm thrilled. I'm beyond giddy. It's very impulsive. It's not too crazy. I'd like to do it. This is like part of what I consider like the big three. Done the Summer Olympics. This would be the Winter Olympics. Literally once in a lifetime stuff. And I'm really hoping to get to the World Cup this summer. So I'm doing it. I don't care. Sod it. This is what life's about. So this now will become a Olympic diary next week. So I shall no doubt update later on about plans for that and podcast plans. Right, so I'm going to watch the men's downhill now. I'm going to tune in for a day of curling. Guys are doing really well. Great start for the round robins. Catch up on all the other events. Just enjoy the Saturday and then head out to the pub for a friend's birthday this afternoon. Ooh, Six Nations as well. So yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm dead giddy. Going to the Olympics. See you in Cortina, Cortinians. Well, it's Sunday now, and gosh, what another sporting day. So I was up early, relatively early, and turned on the Olympics in bed, caught up on all the figure skating action from last night. The big sort of skiing news today was, of course, Lindsey Vonn going in the women's downhill race. I'm sure you followed all the news around her injury. She's ruptured her ACL. This is having come back from retirement. She's age 41, I think. Ruptured her knee in a World Cup race a few weeks ago, got airlifted out, and then decided to compete anyway and take the risk in the final. And so she was competing in the women's downhill. She was wearing the number 13 bib, and it was a tricky course. I mean, 12 runners had gone before. You could see it was a tricky course and people were struggling on the top, and she came out of the gates and she didn't look great, and she really struggled on the first big challenging section and took a horrific fall, horrible fall, and had to be airlifted out again. It took ages and it was really quite horrible to watch, but she was out, so that was a sad moment. But her compatriot won. Breezy Johnson, what a great name, took the gold. And then I just left the house now, having watched the parallel snowboarding when they go against each other, the parallel snowboard slalom, where two racers go against each other on a course, racing it out through the slalom gears side by side, really compelling. And Ledecka is the Czech female athlete who's won. She's a great skier as well, really multidisciplinarian, and she went out in the first round to an Austrian who lost in the final, got the silver medal in the end. And then the Austrian guy, what's his name? I can't remember, but he's taken his fourth gold against the Korean who was in his first ever final. So, yeah, God, compelling stuff. But anyway, I'm walking down the street because I have to interrupt my Winter Olympics coverage to head to the rugby, heading down to the Broncos. We have talked about being a super fan, and yes, it continues. After two brilliant victories in the league, they're playing in the Championship. The London Broncos now take on Super League's Bradford Bulls in the Challenge Cup. So this is the round of the Challenge Cup, the FA Cup equivalent for Rugby League, the big traditional cup tournament with the final at Wembley. And the Broncos are hosting the Bradford Bulls. Now, it's going to be a good matchup because the Bulls were in the Championship previously. They've got one of the franchise slots in the Super League, which kicks off later this week. And the London Broncos just missed out on that. So there's a bit of a grudge, I think, here, which will be really, really interesting ahead of the Super League to see where Bradford are at. The Super League, by the way, kicks off this week. Later on this week, I think it's Thursday or Friday night. So it's Rugby League. I'm going to head down to the stadium now. They play at AFC Wimbledon, down to the New Plough Lane with my Broncos hat on. Meet my friend Trent. We are the super fans. And that's all ahead of the Super Bowl, of course. So get back tonight and catch up on the curling. Oh, my God. They've been doing great. Jen Dodds, Bruce Mowat, absolutely fantastic. Undefeated, guaranteed through to the semi-finals already. But they've got their other round-robin matches today, so I'll catch up on the results from the game. Yeah, and then it's Super League tonight. What a weekend! Oh, still buzzing, by the way, about my trip. Oh, I can't wait. I'm getting really excited about that. I was chatting to Emily again today when we were watching the women's downhill. And her husband Phil's parents were actually at the finishing line for the women's downhill. So I was getting pictures live from there with their Italian flags around them. So I'm dead excited. It was such a beautiful day in Cortina today. So to be there later in the week is going to be great. Right, anyway, Rugby League now. Catch up later. 3 o'clock, we're approaching kick-off. The drums are sounding. The London Broncos hardcore ultras are in the main stand, opposite the main stand. And they've opened the away end. They've opened one of the ends behind the goal for the Bradford travelling Fonz. And here come the teams. Here go the Pyros. Led out by... Whee! Woo-hoo! Got the flamethrowers, the blue and red Pyros firing into the air. Oh, it's going to be... Oh, bloody hell, that is loud. It is going to be a big game today. Real first test of the season for the Broncos. Let's see what happens. Sent Trent to the bar for a first half pint. He's missed the Pyros. That's my fault. Sorry, Trent. Oh, it's good atmosphere. Here we go. And we're off. Kick off. Bradford kicking off to the Broncos with a big, tall, spindly winger for the Broncos who's been pushed right back, actually. He didn't play last week, and I think we were stronger for it, but let's see what happens. Anyway, update half-time. Oh, wow! There's 2 minutes to go until half-time, and it's such a tight game. It was 4-4 with 2 minutes to go at half-time, and the Broncos have just scored in the corner to take it to 8-4. I don't think they'll get the conversion, but, it's a great game. Really, really tight affair. And it's the first time this Broncos team have played Super League opposition, and they're really stepping up to it. It's a really intense game, and the Broncos are doing really, really well. And 8-4 with 1 minute to go until half-time. It's a cracker. The hits are big, the intensity is big. You can tell they really want it. It's so interesting. They've had opposition from the lower leagues, and they've won by 30 points in both of these early pre-season home games, and by 80 in the first round of the Challenge Cup. But this is a big, big game, and they're up to it. It's great to watch. Ducked out to the bar to get some beers at half-time, beat the queue, because the crowd is good here today. £10 tickets for this London Broncos versus Bulls game. It's a good move as they try and build this support. So it's time for a beer. 8-4 at half-time. It's 1 minute to go now, and sadly the Bradford Bulls came out with a lot of intensity in the second half. They really clearly had a bit of a rocket at half-time. They came out and scored early, put pressure on London, and London have done really, really well, but unfortunately they've just given away 3 tries in the second half, and it's going to be, they're about to convert Bradford for a little really irritating try in the corner, and they've punished us with the conversions as well. Oh, it's off the crossbar, that one. But it's now 26-8 with 1 minute to go. So the Broncos are out of the Challenge Cup. It's a sad first loss of the season. But they can be really, really proud of their first half effort. And it's been a big crowd here as they're trying to grow the game. That's the point. They're trying to listen to the Broncos fans. Look at them, they're singing them through. Yes, I love it. I'm really invested now in London Broncos. There's a lot of great characters in the squad. I didn't go 10 metres. I'm really invested. I'm going to be coming back a lot, and I would just encourage any listeners who are in London and like a bit of sport on a Sunday afternoon, get down to the London Broncos, play at AFC Wimbledon, the home of the football club, at Plough Lane. Great atmosphere. You can hear the noise. It's pretty good for the numbers here, and they're really trying to grow the game, so they should be very proud of themselves despite the defeat. 30 seconds to go. They've got to hold out and not concede anymore, but they've gone down. They're out the Challenge Cup. So it's all about the Super Bowl now this evening. A bit of Olympics as well. Need to catch up on the curling, see what's happened in the curling when we get home. Well, it's Sunday night and I'm in bed. What time is it? 9:40. I just don't know if I'm going to get to the Super Bowl, every part of me wants to try and stay up, but it's been a big day, a long day, a big weekend. Maybe I'll try and get to half-time. I won't get to half-time. It's 11:30 kick-off. So when will that be? It takes about an hour and a half to get through a half, maybe even longer. That's 1 a.m. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to make it. Anyway, I'm watching the team final of the ice dancing as I'm in bed, and just seen Ilya Milan, the back-flipping American, do his thing to try and potentially steal that goal for the USA team. The Japanese are in a strong position, so who knows? Let's see what happens there. But did you watch the big air, the women's big air snowboarding? It's when they come down a big slope, go up a ramp, and then do their tricks and land them. And Mia Brooks, the British athlete, has qualified for the final, which will take place on Monday. So that's one to keep an eye out. Hopefully you did and you caught the final tomorrow. I'll do an update on that. So yes, can I do it? I don't know. I'll give it a whirl. It's just we've got a big work week and I've got to pack the van. I'm going to the Olympics. So it's been an epic weekend. More to come tonight. I'm sure you'll have watched the Super Bowl, if not caught the result. But let's check in tomorrow for more action. Oh, just a word on the curling. Obviously, the Brits are through to the semis, as we saw earlier. They lost to the Swiss, actually, today. It's their only defeat, but they did beat the Italians to finish top of the group. So they will play the fourth place team, which is probably going to be either the Italians or possibly the Swedes, depending on the result of the last round robin on Monday morning. The semi-final is Monday night. The final will be tonight, as you're listening to this, hopefully on Tuesday, or the third place playoff, but let's hope it's the final. All right, let's see if I get to the Super Bowl. Well, it's Monday morning, and I'm clip-clopping down the street on my way to the tube, sadly because I'm working today, which meant two things. I really couldn't stay up and watch the Super Bowl, but great result for the Seattle Seahawks. I think that's well deserved. They've definitely been the best team. And, great culture, great spirit there, it seems. And a British defensive coach is a Super Bowl champion. How cool is that? I did get up this morning and watched the Apple Music halftime show. Bad Bunny's performance with Gaga. I thought it was great. What a cultural feast and a nice celebration of all things multicultural in that part of America, and indeed North, Central and South America, as he demonstrated. So yeah, a nice one finger up to those who care about such diversity in a negative way. So that was great, I thought, really good centrepiece. And today, of course, is the team combined downhill skiing event, which I had tickets for. This is the event that I originally bought tickets for when they released them some time ago, and couldn't go to because of said work commitment. So that is a shame. But, of course, I'm going to the curling later in the week, so I'm going to try and get that on screen on Tube Journey, and whilst waiting between my coaching sessions today. And we've got Kirsty Muir, who is going in the slopestyle event, so that is a medal chance. And then, of course, this evening, Jenn and Bruce, first name terms now, in the semi-final of the curling, their opposition yet to be determined. So it's a great day on the Olympics again. Oh, and as a side note, I mean, look, I don't want to hate on Hazel Irvine, you know, full respect, pioneering female sports broadcaster. However, long-time listeners of the podcast will realise that her style does irritate me somewhat, and I've just turned on the Olympics and she's greeted me like I've just walked downstairs in my boxer shorts and she's sat in the lounge reading the paper with a cup of tea, and that we're sort of long-lost friends or lovers. Like, morning. And it's exactly that irritates me too. Yeah, expletive. So I think, well done, great, enjoying the coverage, brilliant stuff as ever. Please, Hazel, I'm not your friend, we don't know each other. You are not speaking to me personally. You're broadcasting to millions, we're all aware of that. Please, just acknowledge that at some point. Anyway, onwards. Monday evening, 5:05, home from work. This lunchtime I whacked on the Olympics on my iPad as I was having my tuna mayonnaise salad. Watched Kirsty Muir miss out on that first medal for Great Britain in the freestyle skiing. Oh, it was heartbreaking. She missed out on the bronze medal by 0.41 points to the Canadian Megan Oldman, and she did a really good final run, put a lot of pressure on herself to score in that final run. The first two hadn't quite landed in the way she wanted, so that made it a lot of pressure for her, and it didn't quite come off. And people were talking about that as a potential medal chance before the games. So that's one down. But it's the curling semi-final. So I'm in my room, got the telly on. I'm actually editing the podcast. They ended up being matched up with Sweden in the semi-final. So having topped the group, Sweden came fourth. And it's the semi-final tonight for a place in the final, which will be Tuesday evening. Oh, God. The other semi-final is Italy against the USA. Now, as I mentioned last week, they went out at this stage last time in the Olympics, so I'm sure psychologically that must be playing into their mind. But I'm just looking at the arena trying to work out where I'm going to be sat. Oh, this Friday watching the men and the women. But anyway, so curling, I shall update you on the results this evening. You'll know this already, but hopefully it'll be a good game and there's a good story to come out of this. Oh, man. Oh, I'm gutted. They've just lost the semi-final to Sweden, which means they go into the third, fourth place bronze medal match tonight, Tuesday. It's really disappointing, that. so disappointing because they were in it was tight. But I think what's interesting about this is you can just tell in sport when the pressure comes on, no pressure really in round robins, you're playing with freedom, you've always got a chance to redeem yourself. But when it's all on the line, as it was in this semi-final, you could see the pressure just played into. They're always just a beat behind the game. And then they got it tied in the sixth end and blew it, the Swedish power play end, and the Swedes got 5 and went to 8-3, and there's 2 ends to go, and it's just, that's irredeemable. And so it played out. In fact, they've had to concede it before the final end. Oh man, that's so disappointing. You can see they're gutted. I'm gutted. Well, still a chance of a bronze medal. They'll be really disappointed because they were really, really gold medal contenders, really. So over to the big air. Can we do something in the big air? Oh man, it's another 4th place finish. Oh God. So Mia Brooks in the big air final tonight. It's Monday night. Hopefully you watched it. Came 4th again, just been pipped out of the medals, as happened earlier in the day. But in snowboard talk, she's stoked. And that is really great to see. I mean, I've been gutted and I've been thinking, is this the Olympics where we're just going to miss out all the time and 4ths? But her attitude's fantastic. She's got one more event. She wants to carry that good energy, and that's a great lesson for us all. Still loads to watch in the Olympics. There's ice dancing tonight. The Brits go with their Spice Girl routine. I'm going to tune into that. We've got all the speed skating. The Dutch athlete won today, Jake Paul's girlfriend, the Dutch speed skater, I think, won this evening. There's loads of other skiing, slopestyle, freestyle. We've got all the sliding events to come, the skeleton, the luge, the bobsleigh, loads and loads to look forward to. Still loads of British chances, and I'm really looking forward to keeping an eye on it on the TV before I go. And from Italy, well, that wraps up my first Olympic diary. And so tune in next week because I'm going to be going live to the Olympics. And we'll do loads of recording. And what I'm going to really try and do, no promises, I'm going to try and meet an Olympic athlete. A lot of them are based around Cortina. It feels like a lot of them have been walking around the village throughout the tournament, supporting the other athletes. So I'm hopeful that either in the curling arena or one evening walking around the town, there might be some athletes to speak to. So I shall try and do that. That would be a really lovely thing to do. Certainly be speaking to some fans. And I'm excited to come in for my first ever Winter Olympic Games from Italy. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for listening. If you are heading out to the Olympics, you've got a favourite athlete, you want to share your Olympic memories, drop us a message in the feed on Instagram at StageDriveAthletic. It'd be great to hear from you and find out how much you are enjoying the Olympic Games. Thanks again for listening. See you next week. Buongiorno. No, what was it? Arrivederci. Good night.